Welcome into the Prep Pod, episode number 8. My name is Matt Corvath. Our producer is Ali Hadi. We have a football edition of the show today for you. For the first day football practice can begin in the state of Michigan, we'll be having in the head coach of the Belleville Tigers, Calvin Norman, along with quarterback Bryce Underwood and linebacker Jeremiah Beasley. But first, Ali, question for you.
What's that?
Where's Chad?
Yeah. You want to tell him, or should I?
Late second, or at least based on Chad's memory, last second golf trip he remembered that he had, and so he'll be back next week. But we are going to take the reins for this week. We got some great guests. Excited to have them, and excited for football to begin. But Ali, what's Chad's punishment going to be when he returns?
So, we all know Chad loves his noons. We all know he loves his noons, and his favorite is watermelon, and his least favorite is lime. So I've stocked the entire studio fridge with nothing but lime noons, and that's his punishment. Sorry.
Punishment seems to fit the crime there.
Yeah.
Seems to fit the crime.
I don't blame him. He's going to play golf.
It's summer.
It's
summer. It happens.
I would do the same, so I'm not going to punish him too hard, but lime noons, those suck. So...
Well, we will be excited to have in our guests today two tremendous athletes and the new head football coach of the Belleville Tigers. And we'll start off with the players next after this break.
Want to take this time to announce that we are now taking reservations for game broadcast in football, in girls volleyball, and also in boys soccer. Things are filling up. We've signed 3 football games already in the last 3 days. We're taking, again, multiple sports in the fall. We're also looking into the winter and the spring. We're booking full season packages. There's discounts that are available for full season packages. And we're also bringing in sponsors. And we'd love to add to our sponsorship team. And, Mac, I know that game broadcasts and getting things secured before a season for a coach is important, but also we're seeing it here at the Prep and getting our games lined up early on this year.
Yeah, it's definitely something you want to look into. If you have, this is going to be a special season for you in some capacity. If you got a special player you want to highlight, if you got a large alumni base that can't make every game on a Friday night, this is a great opportunity to take advantage, sign up for a game or 2 or more, and be able to showcase those kids, your school, whatever it might be, in a very professional broadcast. And Chad and his team do a great job.
Well, thank you, sir. So if you'd like to book a game today, do so. If you'd like to be a sponsor today, let's do something. We'd love for you to be a part of our Prep family. Thanks so much for your support. And give us an email today, info@theprepsports.com. Would love to talk sponsorship and book your game today.
Welcome back to the Prep Pod, episode number 8, Belleville Football Edition. We're joined now by Bryce Underwood, class of 2025, number 1 quarterback in the country, and his teammate Jeremiah Beasley, linebacker, class of 24, committed to the University of Michigan. Welcome in, guys. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
So first practice in the books earlier last night, basically. Feeling well rested?
That's what you want to go with. Yeah, we could go with that one.
Jeremiah, how you feeling?
A little tired, but that's basically a usual day for real.
So the Midnight Madness edition, is that a new thing this season?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Nice. So now we're entering into, actual practices starting, 7-on-7 season's over with, summer ball is over with, the training programs, conditioning, all that is over with. How did the summer go with you guys and your squad?
I feel like it was great. We took a lot of time to bond, build chemistry as well, so we can not be beaten. Sure.
Well, I feel like a big thing that we did this summer that we usually don't do, I feel like we really hit the weights hard. That was a big thing for us. I feel like it's going to show this year.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely. So you guys also had the hitting the recruiting trail hard for both of you guys this summer, taking some visits. Jeremiah, let's start with you. Obviously, you made the commitment to Michigan, but what other places did you go and visit before you made that commitment?
I took 3 official visits. I took Michigan State was my first week. I took Michigan, then I took Missouri. It was great visits.
Oh, you went to 3 official visits?
Yeah.
Nice. And so the timeline, did you have that planned out that you wanted to get that commitment over with before the season officially began for your senior year?
Yeah, we planned that timeline around March after I announced that I wasn't committing on my birthday and I was changing it to the other date. So I just feel like that was the best time for me because I took on my official visits and it was a week after my official visits. So I feel like that was the best place for me.
And now you're just done with it, ready to just focus on football and then move forward from there?
Yes, sir.
So are you going to be enrolling early after the season or after that winter break, basically, or are you going to stick it out for the entire year?
I'm going to be enrolling early. I'm going to get there December 4th, so after Thanksgiving break.
After Thanksgiving break? Nice. And Bryce, where were some places that you visited over the summer here?
Louisiana State University, Michigan. Where's that go? Probably a couple more spots I can't think of right now. So
yeah,
but those was the main 2 spots I've been to through this entire year. Honestly, I've been to LSU 3 or 4 times this year. Michigan, numerous times.
So have you broken yours down and knocked out a couple? Do you have like a top 5 or a top 8 you're dealing with, or do you still just have everybody kind of all in one big pot still?
Everybody's still in one big pot right now. My commitment date more than likely gonna be January 6th.
Are you looking to shorten that list down at all, or no?
More than likely.
More than likely.
Still trying to figure out when though. So.
Nice. And are you looking to enroll early as well? I know it's real important for QBs to do.
Yes, sir.
Nice. Very good. So yeah, looking at going back to you, Jeremiah. Linebacker is a position that they got you pegged to play in college, but obviously you're one of the top running backs on the team for Belleville. Is that a position you may dabble with in college, or are you going to be sticking to that linebacker spot?
I feel like linebacker gonna be my main position, but I done sat down and talked with Hardball and my linebacker coach. That's been a thing that they talked about, like possibility of me playing running back, goal line situation, stuff like that, just to get the ball in the end zone.
Which they did last year a little bit. They even had that guy throw a big important pass in that Ohio State game as well. Nice. And so you already have family that's playing collegiate football, right? You got Malik Carr, brother at Michigan State. What kind of influence did he play on as you were going through the recruiting process?
I feel like Malik was just like a big thing with me. He walked me through the recruiting process. He told me how it was. He told me how it was going to be when you get up to campus. He told me how it was. He told me how it was going to be when you get up to campus and stuff like that. So that was a big thing for me.
So you kind of knew what to expect with those visits you were going on?
Yes, sir.
Nice. And then you have another brother at Ferris State, correct?
Yes, sir.
And he was on the team last year?
Yes, sir.
What position is he at?
At Ferris, he's going to be playing safety and nickel.
Safety and nickel?
Yeah.
So you guys played together your whole lives, basically?
Yeah, we played together our whole lives, from the Falcons to the West 7 Rams. He's been with me.
So first season without him?
Yeah, this is my first season with him.
So is he normally the one, being a little bit older brother, does he have to pick you up and make sure you were doing the right things and working as hard as possible?
No, I feel like it was a two-way thing. Sometimes I'll be slacking, he'll pick me up. Sometimes he'll be slacking, I'll pick him up.
Bryce, I see you laughing. You got a story about it? Did his brother get on him some?
No, I got nothing right now.
We'll get back to that. So, family-wise, too. So, Jeremiah, your mom, big basketball player, Country Day.
Yes, sir.
Right? And won a state title there, played at Tennessee for legendary coach Pat Summitt. Mm-hmm. And she coached as well basketball, correct?
Yeah.
So how was that like growing up with mom as having the coaching mindset as you were growing up?
Well, I was always somewhere with her, whether it was basketball, we was at a football game with my dad, just anything. I was just always running around, active. So I felt like sports was really where it was at for me since I was born. Yeah.
Were you a hooper at all?
Yeah, I hooped from like 6 to 12. For real. I stopped it after while I was focused on track and football.
Real quick, huh?
Yeah.
Man, 12, that's an early age to give it up.
Yeah.
All right, what were you struggling with? There had to be a reason. That'd be something you didn't like about it.
No, it wasn't nothing I didn't like about it. I actually like playing basketball. It's just that, like, track season, like, was, like, right there with basketball, so that was, like, bad for me because I was winning nationals at track and stuff, so that was, like, bigger than basketball.
Okay. And then, Bryce, were you at all a hooper or any other sports you played?
Yes, sir. I used to hoop a lot, honestly. I used to play AAU, stuff like that. I'm more than likely playing basketball for the school this year. So.
Oh, you are playing this year?
Yeah, my last 2 years, I couldn't because of the recruiting process, stuff like that. So
now it's slowed down a little bit. Now you got time for that?
Yeah.
Nah.
Coach Trumpor, I guarantee, is excited about that.
No,
Coach is stepping in though.
Listen, this guy played basketball. He won't stop going in the air like he's Michael Jordan. He's killing me over here, man. Every time I look up, he want to dunk the basketball rim, man.
That's got to be nervous.
Man,
See,
what?
Coach, I was a basketball coach, and who knows?
Listen.
He's off camera right now, but Coach Norman's chiming in.
Listen.
He'll be with us in a second.
He wants to go from the top of the key and dunk every day. Stop it.
Coach, from a basketball coach's point of view, I used to watch my basketball players play football all the time, and every time they got tackled, I just say, "Please get up, just please get up, please get up."
Guys, I'm gonna lose my hair, man. This guy, man, every day is something, man. Then he want to play running back and wide receiver. Man, you trying to hurt me or what, man? I don't want your mama to come kill me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you guys are chasing after the three-peat. You know, a lot of people say it's tough to get to the top. It's even harder to stay on top. I mean, you guys kind of made it look easy last year. What are your thoughts on that?
Honestly, last year I feel like we was going off of our first time winning the championship, and we built more of a stronger bond. We worked harder as a team, and we knew what the standard was now. So we knew we had to get there, because once we get there, we can't be stopped. That's all.
Same thing this year. You're feeling, Jeremiah?
Yeah, I felt like just every year, like last year after we won, we was hungrier coming into that year. Then this year after we won, we was hungry. So I feel like this upcoming year right now, I feel like we real hungry, trying to three-peat, because I don't really think any team in the state can really three-peat it for real.
So you guys have, Belleville's had really strong classes as of late, putting a lot of players into college to play college ball. 2004 class is strong. 2025 class is really strong. Who are some of those kids coming up that maybe the classes below that, like some sophomores or maybe some freshmen, we might see step up for you guys this year?
We got a freshman. His name is Kamari. He is on varsity now. He's a receiver. So be ready to watch him for sure.
One of the top targets for you?
Yes, sir.
Nice. Anybody on the defensive side, Jeremiah?
Defensive side, boy named DJ, he played cornerback. I feel like he gonna end up stepping up next year. Actually, this year for real, stepping up, but having a real big role next year on defense, playing cornerback. I feel like he's gonna be one of our lockdown corners.
So, going into last postseason, there were a lot of turmoil going on with the head coach, Coach Rogers having to step in for the playoffs and what that. So you guys had to take somewhat of a leadership role throughout the playoffs, wouldn't you say?
Yes, sir.
And then, so how did that transition from the playoff run to this season, the players themselves stepping up into those leadership roles?
Honestly, I feel that we just kept the mindset of us staying strong, staying strong, staying together, and nobody can beat us when we all together. So that's the mindset that we kept.
I feel like us having to lead so much last year just made it 10 times easier to lead this year, come out and just take our team to the top and just tell them what right from wrong.
So besides from you guys, who are some of the main contributors to that leadership player-wise that you guys look up to, that the players on the team listen to, that can rally the troops when it's needed?
We had some of the seniors as well that wanted. They know that this was their last season, so they wanted to leave off with 2 rings. You feel me? So that was one of their main things, and also me sending them home without a ring is unacceptable for sure.
You feel the same way this year about these guys?
Always, yes, sir.
Yeah. That's excellent. So the coaching changes. What were some things that maybe we didn't see, behind the scenes that made that process difficult? Again, the playoffs went through. You guys made it look easy, but was it affect the offseason at all, or anything throughout that playoff run?
Honestly, the only main thing that we was worried about was players leaving and stuff like that. But we just had to keep the same mindset that we had throughout the playoffs and stuff like that, staying together, stuff like that. So
I feel like staying together was a big thing for us. We talked about it all the time, just keeping it 100. Like, we asked people, like, if you wanted to leave or not, just checking, seeing if everybody good, how they feeling about the situations. I feel like everybody was still locked in with the team, so.
Yeah, that's something you see a lot when coaches bounce out of there or leave, that a lot of players, you may see mass exoduses, and I haven't really heard of anybody from Belleville leaving. So you guys have done a good job holding that together, and it must speak to that bond you guys talk about with your guys' team.
yes, sir.
What is the biggest bonding thing that you guys do outside of football or maybe outside of school with you and your teammates?
Really, probably basketball. Really, we all play basketball together a lot. Our linemen sometimes get involved, stuff like that. So when it was during school, we had a 6-hour class, football class. But as soon as the coaching situation changed, we all started to build a bigger bond, playing basketball, stuff like that. Just outside of football, just get to know each other better. So,
Coach, that make you nervous?
Yes, basketball, yes, but that bond he's talking about, you can see it in the basketball, and that brought them a lot closer. I would just, we just let them play, and you could just see the connection that they would have with one another. And I think the coach from Arizona, he came in to do his little recruiting thing, but he saw the bond with those guys, and he said, Coach, I never seen nothing like this. So, I'm excited about that part, but Mr. Michael Jordan over here, MJ, man, he's just too much, man. But they all can play basketball. Jeremiah, all of them, the linemen, they all can play good basketball.
That's good. So getting back to those coaches dropping in, kind of the recruiting process with you, Bryce, kind of where are you at with it? Are you getting to the point where you're a little bit sick of it, or are you still liking it?
I'm always enjoy it for sure, but sometimes it happens times like where it's a little overwhelming, but I got to see the bigger picture of it. Like, you don't have a lot of people with this opportunity, so I'm going to take it to full advantage. I'm going to enjoy it the most I can.
So you guys both have, dealt with a lot of college coaches over the past couple of years. Have you guys heard some pretty good sales pitches from these guys or what?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you don't have to name any schools or names, but any of these stand out?
Say it again?
I said you don't have to name any names or schools, but any of these sales pitches from these coaches stand out to you, that ones you always remember?
Yeah, for sure. I'm not going to say too much. Yeah, for sure.
Nice. So going back to your guys' Belleville squad, you guys have added at least two new coaches in their roles, and that's your offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator coming in are new from the previous season. We'll start, Bryce, with you on the offensive side of things. What can we expect to be different or more of, or is it just a lot of the same?
Honestly, I feel like our mindset is different. We understand the defenses more the whole entire offense is understanding what the defense has going on, so they know where their landmarks are different and stuff like that. So it's a way more advanced offense than we had last year for sure. So expect better.
And is that something that's kind of already implemented, or is that something you guys still need to progress as we prepare for week 1?
I say both for sure. We got a lot of stuff that we already have in, stuff like that. And we for sure need way more stuff to get better before week 1.
Okay. And Jeremiah, talking around the defensive side of the ball, new defensive coordinator, but I believe he was already on the staff, correct?
Yeah, he was our linebacker coach last year. So I feel like we end up going back to our old defense. I feel like last year we did not pressure a lot like we usually do. So we bring in a lot of pressure, whether it's first down, second down, third down. So we going back to our old ways. I feel like that's going to make our defense 10 times better than what it was last year.
From the linebacker spot, do you feel like that allows you to play a little more free?
Yeah, because last year we were kind of like in a 2-gap scheme where I had to check a gap and a B gap. Now I just got 1 gap, so now I can just hit my gap and run.
And you get to use that speed going sideline to sideline?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. So and going back to the offense, so that system that you guys will be running this year, you said way more advanced. Do you feel like that is going to better prepare you for that college level?
It's preparing me for the NFL.
For the NFL?
Yes, sir.
So we were talking even above college.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. So what are some things that, maybe are making it more towards that NFL system as opposed to even college, or making it more advanced?
Usually you just have practice and stuff like that with your offensive coordinator, quarterback's coach. We do like 3 or 4 meetings out of the week for sure, just to prepare for what the day brings, stuff like that, what I should be preparing for college, for the NFL, stuff like that. So it's just giving me different looks, get different perspective for the football period.
So, Bryce, you're entering junior year.
Yes, sir.
All right. So you were starter as a freshman.
Yes, sir.
What was that like, entering in with a roster like Belleville has and getting the ball put in your hands as a freshman?
I say I can't say overworked, but that's kind of what it was. Feel me? So it was like I overworked because I thought they were like just ridiculous. Like, I can't do nothing to beat them, anything, period. Just for high school, period. And then me being with the receiver core, the running back core that I had, it was just, unreal. It took pressure off of me as well. No, I could depend on those guys.
Is that something you noticed, Jeremiah, that he seemed overwhelmed coming in early on?
I wouldn't even say overwhelmed. I feel like you could tell like that he was poised. You could tell that he worked hard for this. You could tell he came in, was about his business from the first game all the way to state championship. So,
and you put up tremendous numbers freshman year, tremendous numbers sophomore year. What's kind of the biggest part of your game you felt you've improved since that point?
Leadership and me being able to manipulate the defense more.
What do you mean by manipulate the defense more?
I say with my eyes and stuff like that. Look one way, get the defense on that way, go back the other side. No look passes, stuff like that.
Oh, we're getting Patrick Mahomes style, huh?
A little something.
That's another basketball court thing he's learning there, Coach.
Yeah, a little bit.
So what is the biggest thing you want to improve upon from now until you do leave Belleville and you get to that college level?
I'd just say more of just me being able to understand the defense more. Recognize it and then know it's that before the plays even snap, for sure. Being able to be quicker on my toes, stuff like that, for sure.
Are you guys both film junkies?
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Yeah. From the defensive side, how much goes into that, Jeremiah? What, like, you looking for tendencies from the offense, from, the offensive line, players like that?
Yeah, I'll sit down with my coach and we'll look at formations, what plays they want to do the most out of what formations, what the H-back going to do on certain plays, how wide receivers line up, just the little things to know, like, what play it is, like a little cheat code.
Yeah. And Bryce, you're looking at the same thing film-wise from the offensive side?
For sure. Basically, what do they do first down, first and long, first and 10, stuff like that. Second and long, same exact thing, honestly.
So you guys went your last loss for Belleville was 2 seasons ago against Churchill, right? You guys went through the regular season pretty easily last year, and then obviously went on to win the state title. So what is kind of the game that you feel that you and your teammates and your boys are looking forward to the most coming up this season?
For the last 2 seasons, honestly, if you watch most of our film, our second quarter is probably our worst quarter, literally. So if we execute throughout the whole game, we unstoppable. So
there isn't a particular game, you're just looking at that quarter, huh?
Yeah, literally second quarter. With Cass, we was up 14-0 first quarter, 21-0 by the halftime. No, they didn't score until the second quarter.
So we're looking at just putting 60 good, solid minutes together.
Yes, sir.
Jeremiah, you feel the same way, or is there a team that, when you guys got on the schedule that you guys got circled?
I feel the same way. I feel like it's not really no team that we're looking for. I feel like, if anything, it's the opposite way. Teams looking for us, looking to play us. I feel like every team Super Bowl. Our coaches tell us that every day for real.
So in this area, and looking in Southeast Michigan, maybe if you exclude, the teams in the PSL, River Rouge might be one of the teams that has a lot of talent, or maybe just as much talent as you guys. Is that a game that you guys are looking forward to week 1?
We just know we got to play our game. Simple. Nobody can beat us when we all together.
You feel the same way, Jeremiah?
Yeah, I feel like the only way we lose is that if we beat ourselves. For real.
Have you guys started to look at some film on them from last season, or?
Yes, sir. We started a couple months ago.
Okay. Did you guys see them in 7-on-7 at all?
No.
No, we didn't get to see them.
Who were some teams that impressed you guys 7-on-7?
That we played against?
Yeah.
Possibly, more than likely, it had to be A&T, Southfield A&T, for sure. They always had weapons, stuff like that. Isaiah Marshall, great quarterback. That's mainly the main team that showed us the most, for sure.
Jeremiah, you feel the same way?
Yeah, I feel like they had a lot of talent. I feel like one of the teams that kind of like snuck up on us, we played DeWitt at Michigan, 7-on-7. They
do it too.
They came out real strong. We had a dog fight with them. I think we ended up winning by 14 points, maybe like that, 7 points.
Boy, that was 1 point.
Yeah, 1 point, yeah. like last stop.
Last stop to take away a 1 point win?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Nice. So you guys, we got the season embarking upon us here. What are the biggest things team-wise that you guys both want to see from maybe offensive, defensive side of the ball to get your team ready to go come week 1? So in the next 2 weeks, what's the biggest improvements you want to see your teammates make?
Just always giving 100% in everything that they do, no matter what it is. Board work, paying attention on the field, paying attention to details, just giving 100% with everything.
Well, I feel like he said, effort, and another big thing is physicality on defense. Like just running to the ball, left hands to the ball, being real physical when you get to the ball.
So then we put them pads on Friday, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Jeremiah, we ready for that?
Yeah, I'm ready for that.
Anyone allowed to touch Bryce in practice?
No.
Coaches are for sure no. Well, I think that wraps it up with the guys here from Belleville, the Belleville Tigers taking on River Rouge week 1 and then going through the KLA, looking for another league championship and obviously another three-peat to the state title. Thanks for dropping in, boys.
Yes,
Bryce, good luck this season. Jeremiah, good luck this season. To the rest of the Belleville Tigers as well. We'll have Coach Norman on next year on the Prep Pod after this break.
Want to take this time to announce that we are now taking reservations for game broadcast in football, in girls volleyball, and also in boys soccer. Things are filling up. We've signed 3 football games already in the last 3 days. We're taking, again, multiple sports in the fall. We're also looking into the winter and the spring. We're booking full season packages. There's discounts that are available for full season packages. And we're also bringing in sponsors. And we'd love to add to our sponsorship team. And, Mac, I know that game broadcasts and getting things secured before a season for a coach is important, but also we're seeing it here at the Prep and getting our games lined up early on this year.
Yeah, it's definitely something you want to look into. If you have, this is going to be a special season for you in some capacity. If you got a special player you want to highlight, if you got a large alumni base that can't make every game on a Friday night, this is a great opportunity to take advantage, sign up for a game or 2 or more, and be able to showcase those kids, your school, whatever it might be, in a very professional broadcast. And Chad and his team do a great job.
Well, thank you, sir. So if you'd like to book a game today, do so. If you'd like to be a sponsor today, let's do something. We'd love for you to be a part of our Prep family. Thanks so much for your support. And give us an email today, info@theprepsports.com. Would love to talk sponsorship and book your game today.
Welcome back to the Prep Pod, episode number 8. We are now joined by Coach Calvin Norman of the Belleville Tigers. Coach, thanks for stopping into the Prep Pod.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So we got, the job this off season.
Yes, sir.
How's it been since being given that opportunity?
Hey, it's crazy. The moment I got the job, I think I got the job about 9:15, May 1st. And by 9:30, my phone was blowing up. It wouldn't stop ringing. From congratulations to the news media, to everybody's calling, So I felt very, very privileged, but excited at the same time too,
So being that head coach is not something that's new to you.
No.
You had many years at Detroit Cody.
Yes, sir. Yes,
How many
sir.
years were you at Cody?
I was the head coach there for 12 years. And every year that I was there, I've either made the PSL semifinals. I made the PSL semifinals like 10 times and made the PSL B championship game 3 times. And I made it to the state playoff 11 times at Cody High School. So I'm the winningest coach at Cody. No other coach at Cody has had more playoff experience or state experience than me, and no other coach had as many wins that I've had at Cody.
So what was it, you make a great run at Cody. What is it that told you that it was time to step away from a place you obviously, care a lot about?
Well, I'm a graduate from Cody, and that was my home. I loved the school. I loved being there. I had a great time there, but it was time to leave. And once that door opened for me to leave, I took the opportunity. And then I sat around and I thought about it. I said, man, I want to go somewhere to where I can elevate my game. And I was good friends with Jermaine Colwell. And I asked him, could I come over? And he said, sure. He really didn't have a spot for me because he also knew my background. He knew that I was a head football coach. But I said, listen, man, I'll just be the running back coach. I'm not looking for nothing. I just want to be the running back coach. And once I got over there, I was the running back coach. But then he had me doing more than just doing the running backs, you know. And so I didn't have a problem with it, you know. I was there to help the program out and to do the best I can to elevate the program as well as elevate the head coach.
So coming from the PSL, obviously you saw some tremendous talent come through the PSL in your years there. Who are some of the standouts that were just like you had to be there to see this guy play that will always stick in your mind?
The one that would stick in my mind is Mike Weber. All right, Mike Weber from Cass Tech, the running back, tremendous running back, speed, power, all that. Every time he touched the football, I would hold my breath, like, get him, you know, get the guy, you know what I'm saying? But he was the guy that always would stick out in my mind. You know, also we coached against with Donshell English with the Southeastern when he had Golston.
Oh, yeah.
When I saw Golston on the field, man, he was like a giant. I'd never seen a guy that big. And they used to call him too tall. You know, so, but with Donshell, he did a great job over there with Southeastern. So, those guys would stick out in my mind always.
So then you get to Belleville, you know, obviously tons of talent there. How does that talent match up to some of the things you've seen going through those years in the PSL?
Yeah, when I first got over to Belleville and I just looked around and saw so much talent, I couldn't believe it. And I knew this is where I just wanted to be. I just wanted to be there, and I was sold that day. The first day I was over there, I was in the weight room lifting weights, and I just saw so many guys, and I was like, wow. And I just wanted to just be a part of it, you know. And I kind of grew to where Belleville became my home. And unfortunately, the things that had happened that just transpired, which I didn't want to see happen, you know. I wasn't there to take the job or anything like that. I was there to support. But unfortunately, the job wound up coming my way. And I take a tremendous honor in that, you know, knowing Colwell, know at the time and the effort that he put into that program. I just don't want to mess it up for him, and I want to continue it on with his legacy, you know, because I understand that those players came to come play for Belleville as well as Coach Colwell, because Colwell is the mastermind on getting kids into school, and I was able to watch all that.
So going back to that time where, you know, Crowell steps down from the team and steps away from the team right before the state playoffs, you know, football coaching staffs are always tight.
Yes.
How did you guys handle that as a group collectively?
Well, the good thing that Colwell had on his staff, he had some older coaches, myself as well as Jeremiah Beasley's stepfather, William McMichael, who's been coaching for Coach Carter over there at Oak Park and St. Martin de Porres for many years. So with us two being the senior guys on the team, we was able to keep everybody focused, stay in their lane, that's to say, and not let anything be a distraction. And as long as we did that, we kept ahead and we kept going, and we wound up winning the state championship again.
And Coach Rogers took the team, you know, through that state playoff run.
Yes.
Him and Coach Crowell were really tight. Rogers played for Crowell.
Yes.
And so, you know, what's your relationship been like with you and Crowell since you've been named the head coach?
Me and Crowell, we're still tight. We still talk all the time. He would still call me, and if he has something to say, you know, he would give me his opinion, which I still enjoy it, you know, because it keeps me grounded, you know what I'm saying? He's going to say things that I may not want to hear, but I need to hear it. And just to say that I can stay focused and give me, because I watched him from over the 4 years. And even though he has a way of expressing himself, I understood his expression. I understood the angle that he was going at. So, but him calling me, I still welcome it. You know, I still welcome that call.
Yeah, it's always good. You don't want to have yes men around you.
Yes, I don't want. And even if I do, he's definitely gonna tell me what should happen. Even if we disagree, he knows he's my friend, and we can disagree like that.
Yeah, you can speak honestly with each other.
Honestly, and he really will speak honestly.
And it makes you better coach when that happens. When
yes,
you go
sir,
through that.
It does.
So we talked to the boys about the three-peat, defending the title. You know, from again looking at the coaching side, what have you guys done to keep the level of play as high as you need it to be, headed in, you know, during the off season, but also headed into this season?
Yeah, it was important to me to bring in a staff but I had to bring in a nucleus, and I had to be real careful about certain people that I brought in. One was the offensive coordinator, and I thought that had to be a very important part of keeping the train moving, as to say. So we brought in Spencer McCourt, who was at Bowling Green University as the quarterback coach, and just sitting down with him and just picking his mind, because what I really wanted Underwood to have was a coach that can elevate him so he could be ready for college or he could be ready for the NFL, and that was really important to me. And McCourt fits that bill. You know, he's young, he's also eager, he's also hungry, and so with that, I needed that to be put into the program.
Yeah, because it was Coach Aaron Short, right, left to be the OC at Catholic Central?
Catholic Central, yes.
That's right. So that offensive coordinator job opens up. How many guys were chomping at the bit or jumping, to try to be the ones that wanted to coordinate this great Belleville offense?
Yeah, it was a lot of people. For some odd reason, had my phone number. I know how they got my phone number, got my email address. They hit me up on Facebook, and basically giving me their resumes of being the offensive coordinator. But I didn't want a long list. I really wanted a short list, because it had to be something that decision had to be made quickly. It couldn't be a long process with that. So I didn't want a long list. I wanted a short list. And I had a short list. It was really with 2 names on there, and McCourt was on there. So once we was able to get McCourt in, everything, I let him do his thing.
So Bryce mentioned the changes to the offense and how it's a little more advanced than previous years. Most guys, like you said, want to get it ready for, maybe your players get ready for the college level, and
yes.
Bryce is talking about getting him ready for the NFL level, which is fantastic.
Yes.
Have you noticed those changes already?
Oh, yes, I've noticed the changes. Now, with the other players, it might be a little difficult for them to grasp it, but for Bryce, he picks it up really well. And he picks it up fast, and he's already have the understanding and the concept already done. So he's almost the coach still on the field, and it's just amazing to see. It's amazing to see that.
And now switching sides to the other side of the ball, you guys, defensive coordinator is also new role this year, but somebody that was already on the staff?
Yes. And so the same with the defensive coordinator. A lot of people wanted to be the DC. And and so for me, I enjoyed watching what Colwell put together on the defensive side of the ball with Rogers, and we had another coach by the name of Coach Spence, what they put together on that defensive side. So it was important for me to have a coach that had that understanding. And the only coach that had that understanding that I knew of was the coach that was already there, Coach Rio. And so bringing Coach Rio was really a no-brainer to me, because he already understands the defensive concept, so he didn't have to change too much to the players on verbiage and stuff like that. So
a lot of parents and maybe fans of the program, they look at the head coach and they think that's your only job is just to be the head football coach. But what's a normal day for Coach Norman look like?
Well, a normal day for me is that I work at Detroit Diesel. I get up and go to work, and I do 7 days. All right, I do 7 days, nonstop. A lot of the weekends, I'm doing a lot of 12, 16-hour days during the weekend, but I go from 11 to 7. When I get off work, I go home, change, and then I'm up at the school all day. And I don't get home till maybe about 8 o'clock, and then I do it all over again.
That's going to be a long 5 months or so for you.
It's long. My family, they are concerned about my sleeping. They don't want me to fall asleep on my way home or anything like that. So, I do what I can to stay up, but I do get my sleep in. I get my naps in.
That's fantastic. So what does the schedule look like? You're preparing for the basically preseason or training camp. What does that look like, or how does that break down for you guys? You guys have a lot of stuff already installed, a lot of new stuff you guys still got to put in? Well,
we still got a lot of stuff to put in. I'm trying to create a practice atmosphere to where the coaches can get those things in. So right now we're in the midst of our two-a-day practice. And in our two-a-day practice, I designated one part to be for the defense and the second part for the offense, to give both coaches enough time to install and to rep the things that they need to rep to get the kids to know what they need to do.
So you guys are doing 2-a-days now. How long does 2 days last for?
2-a-days, it's a 2.5-hour practice, and then there's a like an hour and a half break where we feed the kids. The team moms, I have great team moms. They feed the kids. They give the kids food.
Shout out to all the team moms.
Oh,
They're
man,
so important in every sport.
They're so important, but man, sometimes they want to tell the coach what to do.
Well, you got to get the right moms. You can't have moms that are doing it for the wrong reasons.
No, they doing it, and they get on Coach Norman about a lot of things. But man, they like, all right, Coach Norman, you don't need no more footballs. Coach Norman, they the coach out there. I said, hold on now, am I the coach or are you the coach? So we joke about that a lot of times. But shout out to them. And but the second half was another 2.5-hour practice to where we concentrate on offense, and then that's it.
So the 2-a-days will last throughout this week or any part of next week or no?
It's this week, and then it's 3 days next week. And then after that, we got the 4-way scrimmage, and then they take a nice little break, and then it's game week.
So you guys had the Midnight Madness practice last night.
Yes.
Was that something you guys had done previous years?
No, that was something that me and Bryce Underwood had a conversation one day, and he kind of wanted to know what was my plan for the summer. And I said, Bryce, if I had it my way, I'd do a lock-in, or we'll go somewhere out of town. I mean, to a resort or somewhere, or we'll do a Midnight Madness. And I kind of brought that up, and he was like, man, Midnight Madness, that'd be nice. I explained to him what it was, and then a few weeks later, he asked me, Coach, can we do the Midnight Madness? Can we practice in the middle of the night? So I called the athletic director and asked him, could we do it? He called the superintendent. And both of them was on board. And once they was on board, it was nothing else to be said. We was going to do it.
So is it something you would do every year?
I would like to do it every year because, everybody doesn't have Bryce talent or Jeremiah Beasley talent or some other the kids that's on the team, their type of talent, but they're on the team. And this is something that could be a more something that they can remember.
Yeah.
And for the life of them. You know what I'm saying? They could just say, hey, 20 years from now, I remember we practiced in the middle of the night and Coach Norman ran the mess out of us. You know what I'm saying? He ran the mess out of us,
So being the head coach, again, a lot of people on the outside, they just see you there on Friday night, and that's what you do. You run the show on Friday night. Yeah, you got some practices to run, but me and you both know there's about 90% of the job people never realize.
Yes.
Especially at a place like Belleville.
Yes, and because and I've learned how important this job is, the seat that I'm holding, and I could tell that Coach Colwell, it was a lot on his plate because there's a lot on my plate now, and I know I couldn't even be a coordinator and be a head coach at Belleville because it's so much from the parents, from the school, from the teachers and stuff like that, the parents, the players. It's a lot, that you have to deal with and that you have to orchestrate.
So, and a lot of that too, I think something you didn't even mention was just the recruiting aspect of all these college coaches dropping in to, one of the best programs in the state of Michigan. How does the juggling act work with that?
Well, they come in, and this is an exciting thing to see the coaches come in from all over the country, come in to interview the kids, talk to the kids. They all say we got great looking kids, and they love coming out. Matter of fact, on our college day, our showcase day, we have about 80 to 90 coaches from all over show up for that day, and they all love it. They love what they was able to see and be able to connect with a lot of the players. So that was a good day.
Obviously, we had Jeremiah and Bryce on, and there's some top talent still on your team that's in the 2024 class and that 2025 class. Those two had some big time Power 5 offers. Who are some of those other guys like the Rashad Jones, the Lamar Fairfax that could potentially jump up and maybe get those Power 5 offers that you see from what they've put in this summer?
Well, Lamar Fairfax, let me tell you, quiet kid, great kid. And let me just say this about all the kids with Bryce Underwood, Lamar Fairfax, and even Beasley, along with some other kids. The home life is so beautiful, man. To see the parents support their kids, because a lot of this that they get is coming from home. All right, a lot of their will and things like that come from their parents. So it's a big shout out to their parents, to their moms and dad, putting in the work with their kids and making these boys into young men. And I just enjoy saying that. So this is the reason why it's hard for me. Like right now, it's hard for me to get mad at the team. And you know how you want to get mad at the team to put discipline in them, but they're so good. Like I got to get mad at Bryce for, because his hair is out of whack.
You can't let him get away with everything. There got to be something you can get him on.
I got to get him on something, but they're so nice. And I fuss at Bryce, and he'll give me the thumbs up. Now I'm mad Now I'm mad. You give me the thumbs up. All right, Coach, I got you, Coach. But Lamar Fairfax, the kid is strong, man. The kid squat 500 pounds like it's nothing. His bench press is up to 300 and something, like 305. So he does a lot of good things. So he's that sleeper. He's that sleeper for the big colleges.
So I asked the boys here earlier, who are some of those sleepers that you feel are in that sophomore and freshman class?
Well, the sophomore and freshman, what's his name? I'm trying to learn the name. It was a freshman receiver.
That's what Bryce started to mention.
I can't even think. Is it Kamari? That's his name. I think it's Westbrook or something, but his name.
You got 100 names to remember, something like that. I mean, take it easy on Coach now. 100 names.
But it's Kamari, and at first I didn't know what to do with him, but he is growing really fast to where he is in the rotation at Belleville. One thing I like about us at Belleville is that we rotate our players, and I mean, so. You just ain't going to have to – when you come play Belleville, you're going to have to beat all of Belleville. You're just not going to beat just a Bryce or a Jeremiah Beasley. You're going to have to beat the whole team because we rotate everybody. Everybody that's in that team, they're going to play, and they're going to give us what we're looking for. And that Kamari kid, he falls right into rotation. I keep forgetting that he's even a freshman out there. Like, this kid is a freshman? Wow. So, and he's quiet. He's a great kid.
Just someone that's going to pass the eye test for everybody right away.
Oh, man, listen, he's just a baby right now, and he's like 6'2". You know what I'm saying? So when he gets older, man, it's going to be incredible.
So an outside threat. So someone against with a outside big receiving threat is River Rouge with Nick Marsh. You guys face week 1. Mm-hmm. Is that exciting challenge for you think for the guys that they're looking forward to that week 1 battle? I mean, it's got to be one of the most anticipated games week 1.
Yes, it is. The players are excited, that they have to guard this guy, because he's tall. He can take the double team. You watch him play the double team. He comes up with the football. He commands the field. So we're looking a lot for Mick Marsh. The funny thing about it, I work with his moms. Yeah, great lady, man, great lady, and she loves her son, and so I didn't know that was her son at first. You know what I'm saying? And they call him Megatron. I said, wait a minute, we got a Megatron. What are you talking about? You got a Megatron? So they have a Megatron out. I didn't know that was her son, but yeah.
So you're gonna be some trash talking at work?
A little bit, This is stare down. I don't talk too much, but I stare you down like, So it was all fun.
That's fantastic. So the going back, let's look back to the playoff run you guys had last year.
Yes.
Right, there was a couple of challenges that stood out that way. Obviously the big one was Cass Tech, but one that we mentioned a little bit off air was the challenge versus Saline and their quarterback CJ Carr. So is that a challenge that Bryce kind of took personal between the two top quarterbacks probably in the state last year besides Dante Moore?
Yes, he would take on challenges, Bryce Underwood, and when he saw Carr, from watching the film, when we watched the film, I didn't think that he was going to do what he did against us. But when he did against us, man, he really put on the clinic. He really showed that why Notre Dame is getting a good candidate because he is a 5-star quarterback in my book. But it was a competition. It was a competition between him and because at the beginning of the game, we would score and then they would score. They kept up with our scoring. But then after the second half, they couldn't keep up. But Bryce was able to keep going. And
then was Cass Tech the next week for you guys?
No, after that was Catholic Central.
Oh, Catholic Central.
And then after Catholic Central, then it was the Cass
Tech. Which Cass Tech, that was a fantastic game, an overtime thriller.
Yes.
What are your memories from that game?
Well, I remember it was cold. It was cold that day, and but we knew Cass was going to come in with a lot of energy. Because a lot of it because we know each other from Colwell, from Coach Rogers. Everybody knew each other.
Yeah, familiar faces.
Yes, and there was some coaches that used to coach at Belleville that's over there at Cass as well. So it was a lot of tension on that, and so, we, came down to the very end, and we wound up coming in victorious at the end with the overtime. And the beauty about the overtime, I remember when we scored that last touchdown, and we had a choice to tie the game up or win the game.
By going for two?
Going for two. And the beauty of it was everybody on our sideline automatically knew that we're going for two. It was like no question. Everybody was eager and ready to go for two. Either we're going to win it or we're going to go home. And obviously we won it, so that was the beautiful.
Which run will you remember more, last year or the year before?
The first year. That was the most one. That was because I've been there in 19 when we lost to Brighton in the state semifinal, and I was there when we lost against West Bloomfield in the triple overtime. And so both of those was heartbreaking because of all the work that not only the players but the coaches put into, and so those was heartbreaking. I had to feel that every year, and then come in 21, wind up winning it all. Almost brought a tear to my eye, because just to win one of these is hard enough, and to win two, man, I've been coaching 33 years, and I finally got one, so this is my Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. These are my Super Bowl rings.
So it sounds like from talking to Jeremiah and Bryce that they both feel the team has been elevating every single year. So obviously we reached the hurdle of winning the state title. Now we went back-to-back. It obviously a three-peat's the goal, but I mean, it sounds like their goal is almost perfection that they want to chase.
Yes.
So do you see that in the intensity and obviously the off-season workouts leading up to now?
I see it more now that I took over because the goal of the team is not to be good, it's not to be perfect. We have to be at that elite level. And to push yourself to that elite level, even though you think you're doing good, you got to do better. And the beauty about what we got going on now, my staff is fairly new. Even though we have a few coaches that's on there that have won the state championship, the majority of the coaches have not. So the drive and the passion is different because they want it. So it's like we really haven't won one, you see. Mm-hmm. And so now the coaches are with more passion, which is working the players harder because they want something. And the players have to be pushed because they can get beside themselves. They can get to those moments where, we just won back-to-back.
Yeah, they're kids.
They're kids.
Of course, yeah.
So they don't feel like they got to work as hard. So I come in there with a little bit different energy. The coaches are coming in there with a little different energy. So you either match our energy or you're going to have a problem.
What's a little different wrinkle you've added to add to that mindset or maybe the mentality of the team coming into this season? Because I know for me personally, when I was coaching every offseason, I was searching for something. What can I bring that, maybe I've had a kid since he's been a sophomore and now he's a senior. I need something new to inspire that young man. What have you had that you feel you have this year, maybe from you or from the guys from the coaching staff?
Well, for me, is what we always lift weights, but I'm more intense into the weight room. I used to have a problem because our kids would never walk around with their shirts off. All right. Now I got them, their shirts are always off, and that just let me know the weight room is working, but I have to push them to get into the weight room. Then the second thing is the conditioning. I'm really big on the conditioning part, so I need to wear them out. See, just like Jeremiah, he hurt his ham, but it's a lot of them like that. Their bodies are hurting. They can't move because of the workout. So that me bringing that in there, it gets me going, it gets me fired up. So when I come to practice, I'm eager, I'm ready to work. And when I see them lacking, that gets me going even more. So that's the energy that I'm bringing in,
And do you have some of the younger coaches on staff you feel are matching that energy that you're bringing?
Yes, they have to, because we'll have a problem. Because I'm going to act crazy at practice, and I'm going to be on a certain level. And sometimes it's at a level where most coaches won't understand it. But I have to be at that intensity part of it so the kids can get to it. And because, mind you now, Bryce Underwood thought I was just the equipment guy. All
We
right.
got to hear about this one.
Yeah. He had an interview, and because of what I did before, I was just a running back coach. And since Coach Colwell needed work in other areas, I took it upon myself to go and do the equipment. I would do the helmets, I would do the shoulder pad, and I would even do the equipment for the huddle equipment. You know, I'd be the guy setting up the field. You know what I'm saying? So the players for the last 2 years, that's all they saw me do. So they didn't know anything about my background. And Bryce gets interviewed, and he was like, "Oh yeah, Coach Norman, yeah, he was the equipment manager." You know, so you know, he called me the equipment manager. So I don't let him live that one down. You know, I don't let him live that one down. But I have a motivation because you know, also taking over this job, it's a lot of pressure.
For sure.
You know, you got the number one quarterback in the nation. You got some of the top athletes in the state of Michigan. You rank number one in the state. You know, you basically you better win it. You know what I'm saying? You better win state. You know, there's nothing in between. You know, that's the only goal. That's the only thing. You know, so and I welcome that pressure though, because that keeps me motivated. You know, and like I say, Colwell calls me, keep me grounded, and so that's what I enjoy right now.
Is there any game you guys have on the schedule where you as a coach or maybe as a staff have kind of circled you guys or think you'll be definitely up to that challenge or fired up to go face somebody about?
Well, we're gonna take every team. We're gonna take every team game by game. In the KLAA, I really enjoy a lot of the teams there. I think they are well coached. I think they are a well group of guys. Every team that we have played over the years, I've always respected what I've seen over there. From Franklin to Fortson to, even though Fortson is on the down, I know they got good coaches over there. So every team that we have played have shown me that they have a potential of beating anybody. Now, the only difference with us is that we just have a whole lot of talent, you know, so it makes it kind of difficult for them to compete with us sometimes. And it's not that we're trying to rub it in. It's just we just have a lot more talent. But those teams out there are very well coached. They are very good. So they give us a good competition. So we take every team one by one until we get into the states.
Has the Castack kind of turned into a little bit of a rivalry that, you know, obviously we only get to see in the postseason, but like you mentioned, a lot of familiar faces on both sides.
On both sides.
Sure the kids know each other.
Yes.
Is there a little extra there?
It's not a little extra there, but it can be a little extra there because of what you just mentioned. I don't really see it as a rivalry because at one time West Bloomfield was the rivalry. And so I don't really see that as a rivalry. I just see that every team that we play, they're going to, you know, come at us really hard and they're going to really want to beat us. So almost every team that we play, Brighton could be considered a rivalry because they have beaten us at one time and we have beaten them. But all these teams are very well coached and they are very good, and we just have to be ready. We have to prepare for Belleville's way.
So lastly here, I mean, you've obviously had a good career at Cody. We're making the run here at Belleville, starting out your tenure there. You know, who are some coaches that you idolized, looked up to, that had an influence on you to put you in the spot that you're in now?
Man, it's Coach Reynolds at King, Ernie Thomas, they used to coach at Cooley High School. Rest in peace to both of those coaches. My football coach, Coach Richard Carter, Coach Greg Carter, which is at Oak Park. Those coaches there have always inspired me. And some of the younger coaches that's today, like Coach Spence over there at King, great guy. Hey, he's doing a tremendous job over there. Thomas Welcher, Coach Colwell. Those coaches have always inspired me. And I've always watched them and would love to be in the same shoes that those guys are in. And right now, I'm in that position to even walk in the same footstep with those guys. So those guys have inspired me a lot.
So you mentioned a couple of younger coaches on the staff. What's some advice you give to some coaches that are, you know, maybe just getting their foot in the door or working really hard right now, that are at the beginning stages of their career, advice that you'd give them to reach that top level?
Well, you know, even with the offensive coordinator that we have right now, you know, because he's eager, you know, I have to put certain things in perspective with him and to make sure that he stays on the right path. because he's eager, he's young. Not to say they get off track sometimes, but when they do, I'm there to give them out wisdom. Because mind you, I've been there 33 years. This is number 34, and I've been a head coach for 19 years. And so, I may not know everything, but I know some things. You know what I'm saying? I know a few things. And I've been around a long time. I've coached every position on a football field. And so, like I said, I don't act like I know everything, but when I do see something, please take heed to it.
So when week 1 rolls around, how you have some butterflies? We're gonna be nervous. How are we gonna feel?
I'm nervous now. Yeah, I'm nervous now. And but I want to present a football team that when you guys see it, say, "Wow, this is a different football team." Now, mind you, you're talking about Belleville being a great football team from 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. Here's 23. I want you guys to say, this is a different football team. Coach Norman have put his stamp that he can do this. You know what I'm saying? And that comes by performance. That comes by seeing that the kids are being coached very well. So I have to make sure that happens. And when that happens, watch out.
Well, it's exciting. Week 1 can't get here soon enough.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
We are appreciative to you stopping in.
Yes, thank you.
Along with Bryce and with Jeremiah. Thanks to the
Yes, sir.
Belleville football
Yes, sir.
crew to coming into the
Yes,
Prep
sir.
Pod for week number 8.
Yes.
And I know that Chad, I'm speaking for Chad here, but I know that he cannot wait to get out and see you guys live and in person.
Yes.
Definitely at least once, hopefully more than once this season. Best of luck to you this year, Coach.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And we'll be back after a break here to wrap up week number 8 of the Prep Pod.
Want to take this time to announce that we are now taking reservations for game broadcast in football, in girls volleyball, and also in boys soccer. Things are filling up. We've signed 3 football games already in the last 3 days. We're taking, again, multiple sports in the fall. We're also looking into the winter and the spring. We're booking full season packages. There's discounts that are available for full season packages. And we're also bringing in sponsors. And we'd love to add to our sponsorship team. And, Mac, I know that game broadcasts and getting things secured before a season for a coach is important. But also we're seeing it here at the Prep and getting our games lined up early on this year.
Yeah, it's definitely something you want to look into. If you have, this is going to be a special season for you in some capacity. If you got a special player you want to highlight, if you got a large alumni base that can't make every game on a Friday night, this is a great opportunity to take advantage, sign up for a game or 2 or more, and be able to showcase those kids, your school, whatever it might be, in a very professional broadcast. And Chad and his team do a great job.
Well, thank you, sir. So if you'd like to book a game today, do so. If you'd like to be a sponsor today, let's do something. We'd love for you to be a part of our Prep family. Thanks so much for your support. And give us an email today, info@theprepsports.com. Would love to talk sponsorship and book your game today.
Welcome back into the Prep Pod as we close the book here on episode number 8. Again, I'm Matt Horvath. Thanks to Ali Hadi, our producer. Thanks to Coach Calvin Norman, Bryce Underwood, and Jeremiah Beasley for stopping in and having a nice chat about the Belleville Tigers and the upcoming football season. Thanks to Chad Bush for skipping out on today. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Take care.